Where are we, Beto?
We're in Denton, Texas, at a beautiful park called, is it North Lakes?
North Lakes. Yeah.
North Lakes. We're at North Lakes. Hey, how are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for coming out.
I'm a teacher.
Hey.
What do you teach?
I teach computer science.
Oh, you're welcome.
What
I cried. So all those anti-trans, I've never met you in person. I'm Amber Brigham. Huge fan. I'm so grateful.
Like Michelle, I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I just want to thank you. Like it was, oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yes, oh my gosh, we're still working on them. Yeah, they'll try to bring them back. We're still
They
gonna
will.
we're gonna keep
You know,
Because I know there are a lot of very vicious attacks against me and others in the community. And so you just have to know that there are those with power and public trust that tell that we stay proud to have your back. Do everything you can about
Oh, okay.
Sit after this.
Amber, you went with this guy?
Thank you. Thanks for coming out. And I
We will.
want to
Yeah,
join
we'll
us
get
and
that.
ask a question if you'd like to. And yeah, please. I appreciate it.
All right. So Amber Briggle's here too.
Hi.
Hi, darling. How are you? Good to be here.
It's good to be
Very
with you.
proud to be here.
Oh, I'm proud that you're here with us. Thank you.
Can we get a quick picture?
My name is Amber Briggle. My son is transgender, and I thank you for showing up. You testified against one of the House bill or a Senate bill earlier.
It was a Senate bill. It was the transgender sports bill.
Oh, that's cool.
29.
I guess so. And
Yeah.
I just, what got me, and part of the reason I ended up testifying is I listened to all these parents of transgender children, and then all the children themselves testify.
Because if they hear their names.
I got me a granddaughter.
Yeah. Then we have to have the courage to be there with them. So anyhow.
It just really means a lot to me. I'm a parent of a trans child, and like it just consumed me, just like for the whole session. So I just wanted to thank you for sending it along.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, that means so much to me. Yeah. And you're going to join us, right?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good time.
Did you get one of those?
Here, let's get in the picture.
I know you're in a hurry, but would you mind getting one?
Of course.
Sure.
Yes.
I think we got, but I did. I walked away.
You need to send.
I like your shirt, honey. Thank you. I really like your shirt.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah. Here we go.
Keep going.
Here we go. Let's go.
Luke is going to introduce
Look at her shirt. Look at her shirt.
Michelle.
Thank you.
Luke's going to introduce Michelle Beckley.
Yep, and then
Jen's.
introduce
You
you.
guys want to go play together?
Thank you for doing this today.
Well, thank you
so
for
grateful.
coming to see us.
Oh, I wouldn't miss
Yeah, good.
this beautiful structure just to hear the rain.
Yes.
So glad to see you. We're ready. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. You get good sign-ups? Yeah. Okay, good. Good.
Hello, Denton. Let's try that again. Hello, Denton. Excited to see you back in the world. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Luke Walford. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of the Texas Democratic Party. I will be brief. It is so good to be in Denton. We have been on this tour with Power by People and Beto O'Rourke for the last few days, and we have been looking forward to this stop, and you all showed up! So, as many of you know, we just finished the Texas legislative session. And who followed along during session? Yeah. So, as many of y'all know, it was a rough session. Texas Republicans spent their time attacking Texan civil rights, attacking our voting rights, instead of trying to solve the real problems that are facing Texans. The fact that there are so many people who are uninsured. The fact that the grid broke during a winter storm. Yeah. And I think we at the Texas Democratic Party, we look at the legislative session, and one of the clearest things that we see is that Fundamentally, we can fight back during session, but we also have to win more elections. And one of the core ways that we do that is by registering more Texas voters. Yeah. I know there are a lot of volunteer deputy registrars here. We'll talk more about voter registration later. And fundamentally, when we think about how we're going to change the electorate, how we're going to get more people registered, that comes through Denton. There are more than 40,000 unregistered voters in this county alone that would vote Democrat if we registered them. So who's going to help us register them? Now, we're rolling out a big plan to register voters tomorrow. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to texasdemocrats.org. Thank you all so much for being here. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Representative Michelle Beckley, who has been at the forefront of the fights in the legislature this session. Thank you, Rep. Beckley.
Thank you. You guys are making me feel so special. I'm here. It's been a little overwhelming seeing everybody in person for the first time. You know, our 2020 campaign was all online, and I Zoomed with Luke earlier today, and the Democrats have a plan, and I'm so excited to see a plan with data and numbers. I'm a data and numbers person, and the 40,000, that's our goal, guys, 40,000 Democratic voters. That's what we need to register. I'm here to talk about, I served on the elections committee this session, and to say it was a nightmare was an understatement. It was so much work and so much fighting day in and day out in a grind. And I wanted to talk about, because of the bad legislation that came through, and we still can be VDRs. That bill did not even make it out of committee. So we can still all be VDRs, and I called that bill a shredder. It belonged in the shredder, and I am one of those that will fight to whoever was presenting that day. I was like, no, that bill's bad, and we need to keep fighting. So I want to talk a little bit about the historic walkout and how it happened, because it was amazing. It was amazing how it happened. And being part of that, I was one of the ones that I'm the fighter. I'm like, let's go. Let's use every single tool in the toolbox. But I'm also one of the ones, since I was on the elections committee, that had to stay in that chamber as long as possible. The walkout started a couple days. The talks about the walkout started a couple days earlier. It takes a lot of talking and hashing and talking about the pros and the cons on what are the ramifications of if we walk out. And I felt like we are here elected in this present, in this moment right now. We have to kill what is in front of us. And there's always what's going to be there, but what's going to be there, I saw it in elections, it's going to get worse. If they'll pass this one, then they'll come up with some other idea, and they'll just keep throwing at us until we had to stop it to give time. But everybody has their own. We're a big tent party. Where we have diversity in every which way, including the House representatives that represent the different districts. They all got elected differently. So some of them are a little more cerebral than I am. I'm like, let's just go and fight. And let's just keep fighting. I'm going to keep fighting every day. And sometimes I go home and cry, but I get back up the next day and I'll fight again. And my legislative team, and you got to understand, and when you're an elected official, our legislative team is what makes us look good. And I am an Aggie. I had all Aggie interns this session, all who had higher GPAs than I would never have qualified to work in my office. They were so type A. They were amazing. And I know y'all, I laugh too because it is kind of funny, but they were amazing. Every day they were going through these bills. I mean, it was hours and hours of work, because the strategy isn't just killing the bill. The strategy is, if it goes to court, can we fight it in court? So we have to do everything that the lawyers want us to do. We're working with the ACLU, MALDEV, the TDP, I don't even know how many lawyers. I'm a bird store owner. I've met more lawyers since I've been an elected official than I've ever met in my entire life. But we were in there fighting, and hours upon hours of what we did. And so that day we come down, we've got the bill on the floor, and it's 24 hours, and it's changed again. I don't even know how many times that omnibus bill changed throughout the session. First it was HB 6, then it was SB 7, then it was HB 6 again, but it was kind of called SB 7, and then there was things in it, and it was then behind closed doors. There were things in that bill that we had never seen in committee, nobody had testified about it, nobody had looked at it, and I think Beto will talk about all the details. I'm going to just talk about the actual leaving of why we needed to leave. I mean, the bill was even more heinous. It was going to take away the souls to the polls on Sundays by not allowing voters to go vote on Sundays until 1 o'clock. But it was voter suppression for everybody. Disabled people, you're going to have to write down what your disability is. And I'm pretty sure that's illegal. And I'm not even a lawyer. And yeah, I mean, I think that they were going to do that. If you're going to have to put your driver's license and social security digits, we're not even sure all the details, on your mail-in ballot, which is going to lead to financial fraud cases on top of all of this, all because of the big lie and the voter fraud that doesn't exist in Texas. It doesn't say it completely doesn't exist, but it's not widespread. And so we all know it, we're fighting it, and that day we've had caucus meetings where we all get together, we're all talking. So imagine a bunch of political people, big egos, all talking about that, and imagine what that is, and that is exactly what it is. There's probably some swear words going on at each other, and we're in there, and she is our whip. And our whip is the person who checks the votes and sees where everybody is. And you think, how can an 80-year-old lady do that? But she is amazing. She is amazing. You think she has the best system. I totally underestimated her because I don't know. I didn't think about it. But she has a system. She gets these cards. She texts it out. They all come to her desk. We're looking it all up. We're trying to figure out who's going to stay, who's going to go. We had to have 51 people go. And that is a hard thing to do. And everything had to be just right for that to happen. And we're still fighting. And we've got me and Jessica Gonzalez, Representative Gonzalez, Representative Busey, who all are on elections, and we have to be there fighting in case this thing doesn't go down. We're trying to get the clock out. We're using every strategy we can. And it's going, and I'm in that, I'm there, it's 10 o'clock, and I can look around, and I know the list of the people who were waffling, and, that's fine, I get it. And some of them are still in there. I'm like, do we have quorum? I don't know. At this point, I have no idea. Have we broken quorum? But at 7:30, people started trickling out. They started taking their keys and trickling out because it was a whole day organic. Everybody decided enough is enough. We're not going to take this anymore. We are going to make a big, bold statement and kill this bill tonight. And at 10:35, I think, if you guys have been following, we get the caucus text, okay, take your keys and leave. And even at that point, I'm not sure that I've been there. I've given the point of order on the bill. I'm the one that had the only point of order. Point of orders that things that they did weren't correct, and it's legality. It's a procedural thing that I probably should be able to explain better, but the lawyers do it much better than I do. But I'm in there arguing it. I can argue it. Don't worry, I can argue it. And we're arguing it. It took 45 minutes, but it gave us the time for that final organization because it's all about time. And now what we have given the federal government time to save the voting rights of Texans. And that is what we can do. So everybody walked out. I'm walking out. I'm not even sure we have a quorum. I'm walking out. I've got my key. And I get to my office. My staff and I are like, oh, gosh, what do we do now? Because, DPS can haul us back. But I figure I put on some pandemic weight. It's going to take a couple of them to get me back there. They're going to have to drag me. And I'm not going to lie. And my staff and I, so they're like, I'm locked in there and we're just waiting. We're waiting till 12 o'clock because my office is as far away from the chamber as possible, so I have that advantage. And we're just sitting there waiting till midnight, and then they do the vote, and they killed it, and they didn't have quorum, and it was weirdly, it took a couple days to really absorb the beauty of what a collaborative organization does all at once. It wasn't one person. This wasn't one person filibustering. This was an entire caucus saying, this is enough, this bill is too much, and we're out of here. So now we have time, and now what do you guys need to do? Come on. You need to vote? That's it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You need to register voters. Register voters. You can do it so many different ways. I was on a Zoom with the TDP. They have a great plan they're going to be rolling out. That's the Texas Democratic Party. I'm going to have Luke come back up here and tell you what that website is again, because that is not my website, and I don't know it off the top of my head. My website is michellebeckley.com. I keep it easy so I can remember it. But you guys, I am so excited. There's so many of you that have been here. And look. Yeah, let's see 'em.
She's right there. She's in pink. Yeah.
And let me just tell you guys, they're not sleeping, so you shouldn't sleep either. If that doesn't make you want to go register 5 voters, I don't know what will.
Let's get another round of applause for Representative Beckley. Y'all, I just want to be clear that what Representative Beckley and her colleagues did has only happened 4 times in Texas history. And that they were all empowered and emboldened to do that because they heard from you all, because you all wrote letters and made phone calls. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, it's my honor to introduce Jen Spugnardi, who many of you will know and who I had the chance to talk to right before this event. Jen has been a devoted volunteer with Beto and with Powered by People since, Jen, 2018? Since 2018, and I know you all know her so well. So if you can please join me in giving a round of applause to Jen Spugnardi.
Thank you, Lou. Hello, Denton, Texas. I am so excited to be with you all tonight. I am very honored to introduce someone who Try it again. Hello, Denton, Texas. How are you doing tonight? I am very honored to introduce someone who means so very much to me personally. as Luke said, the election of 2016 was a wake-up call for me, as I'm sure it was for many of you. I fully realized for the first time that our democracy is not guaranteed, and that active citizenship involves more than just voting. So I decided to find a candidate to support for the 2018 election. I started researching about this congressman from El Paso who was running against Ted Cruz. I had no idea who he was. I didn't even know how to pronounce his name, Beto. And here I am, 3 years later, still volunteering every day of the week for him. And the reason is simple. I believe in Beto. Absolutely. Beto's Senate campaign created a movement that is still going strong and changed Texas forever. For the first time in my adult life, Democrats across Texas were energized and inspired because of Beto. And we got busy and we got organized. Woo! Absolutely. Folks like me who had